Hey y'all, it's your favorite auntie. I am back with another video to give some advice to my niece, Young Miami. Now, she hasn't reached out to me for advice, but I'm going to give her advice anyway. But before I do, I need you to like, comment, and subscribe to my video. And make sure you hit that bell notification so you can be notified every single time I post a video. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about Young Miami, also known as Caresha. Um, I just had some thoughts about the relationship that she's in with Diddy, and I just really want to reach out and kind of speak about her situation because she has a huge following. I don't know what, about 4 million, 40 million. I don't know. She's got a huge following. And what she's saying to young girls about the situation that she's in with Diddy is alarming, in my opinion. You have a lot of girls who look up to her and are going to think that this is what you should strive for. She's winning. No, she's not winning. Just a little bit of background about her. I know that she's 29 years old and she has two children. I believe she had her first kid around 19, 20 years old. And then I don't know, maybe 5, 6 years later, so maybe 4 years later, I don't know, she had a second kid, a daughter. I know that it has been reported that the oldest child's father committed DV against her. And I don't know if she pressed charges or had a restraining order, but it's out there in the media that he was abusive to her. He was later killed in 2020. Now, I'm not saying that she had anything to do with that. I don't know the situation of that. This is just what's out there about her child's father. That's the oldest child. The second child, it's reported that I believe that father was, I guess, a music executive, if I'm not mistaken. And she has a daughter with this person. She was with this person for some years. We also know that she's a part of a rap duo group, City Girls. What is going on with City Girls, by the way? It seems like City Girls is kind of slowly fading away, but that's not what this video is about. What I also understand is that just what I've read, so everything in this video is alleged, just what I've read is that her mother spent some time in jail, in prison because of a fatal car accident when young Miami was about 15 years old. So I believe her mother spent a few years, if I'm not mistaken, I guess, in jail. And so I say this about her background just to kind of talk about kind of her circumstances and why she may be in the situation that she's in with Diddy, because from what everything that I've seen and heard about her, she didn't have the best uh, childhood growing up. It looks like, she didn't have the guidance of two parents to be able to instill those values that young ladies would look for and help them in navigating life, especially when it comes to relationships. Oftentimes we see girls who are missing their fathers, but they usually have a mother to turn to. And sometimes, the mother is the role model. Whatever the mom do, the child sometimes will emulate. But if her mother was in prison, then she didn't have that mother figure to look at to kind of guide and steer her into the right direction for her adulthood. So I think, this is my opinion, that this has contributed to the decision that she's making with her relationship with Diddy. Now, we know last summer, my girl showed up at the BET Awards with this big old sign that read, "Go Poppy." Now, this man got on stage, thanked everyone but her. Didn't Diddy even thank Cassie? Cassie, the girl he was with for about 10 years. Yeah, her. The one who actually finally had the courage to love herself first. And now she's married with two kids, has moved on with her life. And yet he thanks her. He also thanks Kim Porter, which is the deceased mother of his children, which that I understand. I have no issue with. But here she sits in the audience, his biggest cheerleader, his biggest supporter, and in my opinion, basically publicly embarrassed her and doesn't even acknowledge her at that time. Now, I believe later on he came back and made an Instagram post and said that he had the most respect for her and that he appreciates her. And he so affectionately called her his shorty wop. What is that? Shorty wop? What? What? Is that the same wop that Cardi B talked about? Is that the same thing? Is that what you are, Young Miami? Caresha, you his shorty wop? That's so cute. They both let us know. Of course, Diddy did first, that they were both just dating. They're single. They can do what they want. Yeah, although we see him in the streets with everybody, I have yet to see her with anyone else, but they're both single and they're just happily dating. Caresha, please. I know he's hooked you up with a show on Revolt. And listen, I respect her for having this show. I do. I don't want to negate the fact that she is doing her thing with her show. What I don't respect is, in my opinion, what it takes for you to keep it. I think you have tried a few times to separate yourself from him, but you keep coming back. And the reason why I say that is because the first time you tried to, I think, disassociate yourself from him, it was a random time where you just up and deleted pictures that you had on Instagram of him. Um, Shortly after that, you were back seen with him. Everybody was like, "What happened?" Well, all of a sudden, she's deleting all these pictures. Well, months later, that's when we learned baby love came around. He had had a baby. And so, of course, you have to save face and say, "Oh, I already knew that he had this child." Yeah, what are y'all talking about? Yeah, he told me that. We can kind of suspect as to when he told you that. It's probably around that time that you deleted all those pictures. But he has the baby love, cute little baby. And you're back with him as if nothing ever happened, looking at us like, "What's the problem, y'all? I already knew about it." We know what that's about. We were all humiliated for you. We really were. So you're back with them later on again. You seem to decide to disassociate yourself from him again at some point. We stopped seeing you with him. It looks like it was rumored that y'all were not going to be hanging out. And then he puts you on a song, and then he makes you his leading lady in the music video. I believe this was sometime last year. You're back with him again. I think this has happened a couple of times where you've decided that you want to move on, but I think you're at the point now where I don't think you know how, or I don't think you can. The reason why I say that is because you're on a show now on a network that belongs to him, and he's pushing you as the front person on Revolt, and I think your show is doing quite well. He's even recently came out and said that he thinks that you're the next Oprah. Diddy. I'm not sure where we're going with that, but I just think that this is an attempt to uplift you publicly so he can keep you right where you're at, which is at his beck and call when he needs you. I think you want us to believe you're okay with that, but I really don't believe you are. I think that you are trying to convince yourself and others that this is your reality is better than most people. You made a comment recently on the Shade Room that married people are miserable, and I'm paraphrasing here, that married people are miserable and that your situation is better than them. I guess because you aren't married, you don't want to be married, and you know what's up. I did not understand where you were going with that, but that's what I understood that you were trying to say, I guess. And you got all these people like, yeah, she's living her best life. She's with Diddy. Look what he's doing for her. And y'all married people are miserable. And I don't believe you even believe that. I think that this is what you're trying to convince everyone else because this is where you are in your life. And so you want everybody else to join in with this um, almost pretty woman type relationship that you're in. I know you guys remember Pretty Woman with Julia Roberts and Richard Gere. And the only difference is that Julia Roberts we know, was a prostitute. And I, for one, am not saying that Young Miami is a prostitute, but what I am saying is there's a correlation there where she was taken in by a rich man. She was this young, beautiful woman taken in by this rich man, and he promised her this beautiful life. Now, the difference is in that movie, I believe he actually went on to, date and marry her. But in this situation, I definitely don't think that's what's going to happen. Here is my advice. Here's some advice from your auntie. 3 things that I want you to know. The first thing is, and this is not just for Caresha, this is for any young woman who's listening to this. If you love yourself first, you can have the things your heart desires. You can elevate just being you. When Caresha first came out and we got to know her, she was in a rap duo. So yeah, she may not have the money that she has now that she's doing her show, but you want to know that you were able to get to your success by putting in the hard work. The hard work that includes non-bedroom hard work. I'm just going to go there. The second thing I want you to know, and this, like I said, this is just not Caresha, this is for anybody. Don't let a man make a fool of you. Value yourself enough to know that you are worthy of a commitment, whether that be marriage or if you just want a long-term relationship. There is someone out there that is willing to provide you with that. But you have to have that standard, and you have to make sure that you don't settle for anything less, because if you do, then you'll just end up in a situationship. And I don't believe that most women or men want a situationship. I'll take that back. I don't believe most women, men, yes. I don't believe most women just want a situationship. Most women want commitment from their partner. They don't want to have someone that they're just dating and they could be free to date whoever in front of whoever. That's not what most women want. And anybody that's saying, yeah, no, that's what most women want, they're lying. They're lying to themselves. The third thing is, if you have a daughter who is looking up to you, is this how you want her to get where she's going in life? How do you want her to show up as a woman? Because she's going to show up just like her mother. As always, thank you for watching my video. Please comment down below if you have any advice that you want to drop for one of our nieces. And be sure to hit that like button. I'll see y'all on the next post.